Yeah, it was number 50. I think it was number 50. Des James.
Yeah, I thought so.
Ready for sidecar action again. Got a couple of holes in the grid. It looks like Spike Taylor and Astrid Hartnell missing. Des James, number 50's missing. We've got to start off the line, yeah. And who else is missing? The bike of Michael Walland and Neville Mickelson had a bit of a nasty upset in the first corner of the last race. There's somebody starting out of pit lane. Looks like David MacArthur with big green Kawasaki leathers. That'll be David MacArthur, number 96, probably from Te Awamutu. So, right, we've had a good clean start this time round, and it looks to me like the bike number 29. No, it's actually the Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson bike out there in the front, followed closely by Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. Now, Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr, lap record holders at Pyro. They had sidecar racing pretty well all their own way for the last couple of years, and now Aaron Lovell's come back out of retirement and given it. Look at him go right round the outside. That's the long way round the track, but it didn't quite pay off for him. Bike number 3 in front, but the number 29, the Boss Engineering sponsored Honda CBR 1000, went right round the outside. Obviously they didn't want to balk in behind them, and they're disappearing off in the Middleman Toyo Corners. 8-lap race here at Hampton Downs for the final sidecar race of the day, and I think about the second last race anyway, and they disappear in there. Somebody else had a bit of a problem with the hairpin, but they've got back on track again. A couple of bikes tied up in a crash earlier on. So there it is, Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson. Aaron was a New Zealand champion in the early 2000s, and Dennis Simonson rode for Steve Bron from Wanganui over the last 3 or 4 years ago, and picked up a couple of New Zealand championships there. He's passengering it, and they've got a bit of a break on second place, which was Adam Unsworth and Stu Dawes. There's probably now 70 or 80 metres. In third place is the old boys from Christchurch, all the way up from Christchurch on the beautiful LCR 1000. This is Glenn and Alex McDonald. Glenn is the son on the side, and the father is in his early 60s, is driving the thing. So they're sitting there in third place. Wait round as they come out to their corner, out of their corner, and see who's in fourth. The fourth is the Lawrence brothers from Auckland, Richard and Chris Lawrence. Those of you who know these boys, they're good lads, have been round sidecar racing forever. And I believe Richard is going to the Isle of Man to have another race here as well. Here we go for the lead. It is Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr side by side down there. They pulled out of the slipstream and have gone into the Middleman corners in first place now. Lovell and Simonson have won every sidecar race over the last couple of months in New Zealand. They had all the clean runner wins at the Barry Sheen Memorial Oceania race, and they haven't got it their own way at the moment. In fact, look at that. Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr seem to be increasing their lead. We had a fastest lap of over a second quicker from then over and above bike number 3. All we'll see from this is number 3 fight back harder and harder as they can do. There go the girls, Tracy Bryan and Tina Sturtson on the first of the 600s. There's a couple of 600s, I think there's 3 or 4 out there, but they're all Formula 1. It's a Formula 1 class. We're not segregating between Formula 1 and Formula 2, but you'll see them out there on the beautiful pink DMR chassis machine from the Tauranga Bay of Plenty area. Right, let's look at the action out in the front there. It is still Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. They're coming into the dipper here. They've probably got 5 or 6 bike lengths in it. We're looking out for a battle there for third place as well. Early third place was Alex and Glenn McDonald, but now the Lawrence brothers have gone through on bike number 11 on the Yamaha, and we're looking there. This is the in 5th place is the Smith Shorter combination too. They had a big spin in the race earlier on today off the end of this front straight. Not very often you get away with a spin in a sidecar in a high-speed corner. Slower speed, yeah, but they managed to turn around and come back, and I think they ended up with a 3rd place at the end of the day for that one. So they go through for another lap over the start-finish line, and we go and check the lap timing, and it is indeed the bike in 2nd place is now about 2/10 of a second a lap quicker. So maybe they can come back, and they've got a clean slate of wins over the last couple of years. Look at them, they're closing right in on coming up to the goal corner 2, turn 2 here at Hampton Downs, and there's only a bike length in it. Expect some fireworks. I would say at the hairpin that would happen, either the first hairpin or the dipper, possibly the dipper, because there's a wide track there, and if you run wide, you've got to lean off the brakes earlier, whereas a sidecar can come over that brow of the hill and leave the brakes on longer. In saying that, is also a steeper hill. It's Lovell and Simonson up on the inside. Don't quite get it. Oh, that was a nice racing move, but didn't quite. Don't give anything away to that Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. Lovell and Simonson come out of there in the lead, but it's side by side all the way down the centre straight. Half a bike length. It's who's got the bigger nads there, and the biggest set of nads is Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr, only by half a bike length. So don't give up, don't go and get your coffee now. This sidecar action is plenty. Third place there, the Lawrence brothers have got a bit of a break over Alex and Glenn McDonald. We're looking at the lead bikes coming over the hill. Not too much in it. You could almost see nothing between the two bikes. There's now about 2 bike lengths, but it's Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr going off there. Now, I'm expecting after a couple of laps, somebody's going to have to try their real hard inside line coming in here, because sidecars are harder to pass on any circuit, and there's only a few places where they can't. We're going to actually be coming across a lapper shortly, number 150, and then this 150 is Nick and Wendy on the CBR 1000, so that might change it a little bit. Adam Unsworth's there in the lead, over and above Dennis Simonson and Stu. Dennis Simonson's doing the passengering, and Alan Lovell out there in the front for Lovell painting machine. The back markers no problem whatsoever. They're coming into the dipper again, changing their lines. We'll see the speed difference. Suzuki versus Honda down that centre straight. It's looking like the Honda out in the front, but a bit of slipstreaming going on there, but they tuck in one behind each other as they go around that Toyo tyre corners. We'll see who gets a drive out of here. There's not even half a wheel in it between them as they're coming over the brow of the hill. They disappear out of sight. We look out into third place, and it's still the Lawrence brothers. Now there's a dice on between fourth place between Alex and Glenn McDonald and the Smith-Shorter combination. They go into the Toyo tyres. It looks to be like Smith-Shorter outbraked the machine of the number 6 NZ machine and took into fourth spot, I should say. Looking out for this lead off into the gull corner, and nothing in it again. There's about a bike there. Sidecar action. We've lost a few after a big crash in the earlier stages. Not too sure how those people are getting. I know I saw a couple of bikes flip up, or at least one bike rolled right over, and there was passengers and riders lying all over the track. They dispatched the ambulance and the trailers and got them all back, and so it's cut the field down a bit. Here we go, side by side, coming into that dipper again. Oh, look at this, it's a great move here. Oh! Missed a gear, that's it. Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr, they come out there, they were in the lead, but it looks like to me they missed a gear. They almost come to a reasonable stop, especially at race speed, and that's let Lovell and Simonson get ahead. Whether they know how far he's ahead or whether they push it on, they're now coming across another back marker as they come over the brow of the hill. No worries there, good clean run for them, but it's certainly, that's a bit of a game changer, because this was a great race up to Len. You never know, they may come back. We see them coming in. 8-lap race here at Hampton Downs. Been good sidecar racing the first race. We'll just have to see. There's Dave MacArthur on number 96. He's all the way from Chiawamudu. Dave MacArthur's passenger is 96, sorry, Dean Hodgson. And they're on Robbie Shorter and Barry Smith's old machine, so that's them. He had another window outfit, a short bike. He's gone for the big bike now and doing it that way. Looking out over in the distance, it's bike number 29 is still chasing down hard. We'll have a look to see what the lap times do. In fact, we won't get a good lap time on that last one. 3 seconds with that missed gear. Looked to me like a missed gear coming out of the hairpin, the second hammer. But they are starting to close up the gap. Now, I don't know what sort of signals they do between rider and passenger, or whether they've got pit boards down the front straight, but certainly Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson will need to keep the hammer on and down, otherwise these other guys might just reel them in. Looking out for third place as well, Chris and Richie Lawrence there. They're starting to get hunted down by the Barry Smith and Robbie Shorter combination, number 18. They've already got past 6th place, dispatched them, and they're now hunting down the Lawrence brothers. One thing I will say about the Lawrence brothers is they don't fade as the race goes on. They seem to get faster and faster and get stronger and stronger as the race goes on. Now, quickest on is now Adam Unsworth, but only by about 40 thousandths of a second. So he knows what he has to do to reel in the leader, but I don't know whether it's going to go laps down. 7 laps down, 1 lap to go. Sorry, 7 laps. Hey, where's all the day gone? The white flag is out. the last lap of the last sidecar race of the day here at Hampton Downs for the Suzuki Series, and leading it is a Suzuki of Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson. This is a bike that Steve Bron, I'm not sure it's the exact one he took to the New Zealand Championships a couple of years ago, but it's certainly a well-prepared machine, and the team works well together. They work very well. Doing a lot of fundraising as well. We've seen on Trade Me a couple of times they're offering 5 laps of Pookie for a couple of $100. They thought they'd might get 1 or 2 takers. They ended up with about 10 or 12 people that went up to Pookie Co one day and all wanted to go on a Formula 1 sidecar. So good on them for thinking outside the box as well, a different way of fundraising for their team. They've got T-shirts for sale. They've also had a couple of quiz nights, or one at least in Hamilton. They got one, I think, coming up to raise funds to punt this machine around and try and get a New Zealand Championship. So here we go, a clean slate, but not for the want of trying by the team in the second place. It's Aaron Lovell and Dennis Simonson take the checkered flag, followed by Adam Unsworth and Stu Dorr. That race was panning in to be a real good one, and of course until a missed gear cost him quite dearly. He still didn't lose second place out of it, and we're looking at the Lawrence brothers coming over here in fine form on the Yamaha for third place. There we go, Suzuki, Honda, Yamaha, first, second, third. There's another Suzuki going across there, the bike number 18, the SSR Racing, Smith Shorty Racing. Number 6, Glenn and Alex McDonald, followed by, there's Dave MacArthur and Dean Hodgson, followed by a lapper, and I think that'd be bike number 76, Bruce Roberts, and Jim Bilby, all the way up from Kim Bolton on a little wee short. Now, I'll tell you what I haven't seen much of. There's Pete the Pirate and Darren Prentice there, 111, followed by